Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the CEVO MLG Pro League with yours truly, Metuz, with Helium. He's just AFK for a few moments, so I'm going to take it solo until he returns.
Oh, I'm here. I was just muted.
Ah, he's back.
Classy.
Hello. How you doing, man?
Good. Not out of breath because I ran up the stairs. I'm not that pathetic.
That's good. That's good. But we are live now, as you can see, into the first round here. In the pistol round, so LGB starting on T side, Penta on the CT. And if you just joined us, LGB are currently 1-0 up after a sick overtime victory at 19-17. First frag onto Polly from Troubley.
Yes, starting off strong there with the laser pistols, as I affectionately call them. And another one there for Staffy before going down. Rubino cleans him up with that Tech 9, so now 4-on-3. And that bomb, though, is going to be planted. And immediately PRB and Rubino light it up. Troubley with one more, a second on the round, but into a 2-on-2. So getting into the post plants, LGB trades a bit more effectively. And they planted for A-Main, but Troubley coming in with the third kill. He'll get on the bomb. He's the one with the kit. Just got to keep Rubino at bay there, and Crystal will go Secret Service, take the bullets. And that'll be Troubley going with that kit. The 3K wins them the round.
Yeah, so Penta getting that first round on the board. Tech 9 in the hands of Crystal. M4 for Troubley. He's not messing around. I'd expect to see maybe an SMG here or there, but there we go. MP7 and P90. P90 is devastating against Ecos. It just rips through people. You can see there as well from LGB, they're not going to bother to upgrade a whole bunch. They do have Kevlar on PRB. Apart from that, it's P250s pretty much with a smoke and a flashbang. So they may try a fast push in towards B, but you can see here they're spreading out a tiny bit. They're trying to get picks across the board. They do see a couple players pushing through main, but PRB does get tagged down for his troubles, and he's down to 26 HP now. Picks up the bomb and maybe heading towards mid.
Yeah, so PRB just a little low. Let's see. P90 looking in A-Main aggressively. Strux is in their middle with his FAMAS, and actually the MP7 of Tapson is going to open things up there. Getting down Pauly and spraying through the smoke. I don't even know if he knows that he lit up sentries as well. Now moving through, going to get one more sentries again, already low. And his head's going to be taken off over those toxic barrels by the sunroom. And that's a big 4K from Tapson. That is a lot of money coming in. What is that? 2,400 bucks?
Yeah, sounds about right. And you can see now he's on 5.9k. Massive, massive stuff. LGB, though, because they saved that last round, they can get the AK-47s because of the bomb plant. Albeit a fairly weak buy. Just one flashbang apiece, so no smokes, no mollies. Raw Angel once again. They're moving slow on towards B. Rubino taking point. And the only player that's actually covering off on B is Troubley, and he's about to push. If he gets fragged, this is a free plant. He gets one, but gets traded out. Now the push onto B is real, and that bomb will be planted very shortly. Well, they're taking it slow.
Not going too reckless. Pauly, though, will still find the time to make the round even easier as he gets those players over there from that middle and coming in through the vents. 2-on-2, though, just like that. Tapson peeking out from lower. Crystal trying to come out of B heaven. And Tapson moving in. Oh, will stop the player that's trying to get him from the backside there in this coming through the smoke. But, I mean, big round for Tapson right there. Big 3K. And Penta, I don't know. It was looking a little bit scary, I thought, when Pauly found that double to even it right back up. But, I mean, Tapson, again, starting off super hot. 7-1.
Is this guy ever going to have a bad map? Well, I think he's dropped close to 30 every single map so far, Helium, that we've casted.
He was less prominent on that cache against Titan, but yeah, he let it go on Dust 2 and Overpass.
What a player he's turned out to be for Penta Sports, and a force buy up from LGB includes a Deagle and a Tech 9. Again, not too many grenades in their back pocket, but are they going to be able to make it work? Look at this already, two players pushing super aggressively into highway. The problem is, though, they don't really have many smokes to cover themselves off from mid. Tapson pushed through, got himself one before being traded out from Rubino. But this is great news for the terrorists, because this kind of exchange, it definitely favors them. It cuts the CTs that much more split off from one another. Only one player is on B once again, but it is Troubley, and he has been performing pretty damn well over the last couple maps. And he's just going to hide on B. He's going to wait for that push to come in. And again, LGB seem kind of caught in two minds. Now they're going to start to push in on checkered.
Yeah, and you see by the missile crates, Trebly is there, geared to throw a pop flash, and he's going to let it go now. Rubino had the idea, was trying to spray it down. Trebly limited to only one frag, but Crystal coming through with the drive by on the Tech-9, finds two, takes the head off a Sentry and Pauly. That was nuts. He finds himself a 2K. That could have just saved that round for them. Although we do know that Penta's retakes are strong. They did look a little weaker earlier on Cash against Titan.
Yeah, against Titan. And Titan are a team that obviously on their day can pretty much take anybody to pieces. So I do wonder how much LGB put into that, thinking, okay, well, yeah, they just got smashed 16-6, I believe it was, against Titan. But that may not be indicative of how weak or strong Penta are on this map. You can see now LGB are going to be going for an eco rush on towards B. Here comes some flashes and grenade. Trebly lines them up. He gets himself 3 kills. He's looking for a 4th. He's tagged down and finished off, but the damage was done. And Strux comes in for his double. And just like that, 5-0 for LGB, who in a heartbeat are up against the ropes now. Yes, they're on T side. They can still salvage this for sure, and they've got a full buy up in their side. But Penta couldn't have asked for a better start than this.
Yeah, but the thing is, LGB on T side is almost where you expect them to get more rounds, especially on a map like Cash, where it is just so even.
It's a good point. That is definitely a good point, and maybe that will be factoring in the back of their minds.
They forced up pretty hard in the second round, LGB, though, didn't they? They kind of put their economy in a rough place. This is like really their first full round, so I think round 6 is maybe where we see a turnaround, but if it doesn't, well, that could be a bad sign. As Trebly starts things off.
Yeah. As you say, they did force up the second round. They had full AKs, but only 1 flashbang apiece. So the idea was to try and catch Penta off. We may still have a couple of SMGs, but Penta just held it down. And now LGB again are finding themselves players down. Stavey with that boost gets the frag onto Sentries, who was not expecting that whatsoever. Completely caught unawares. And the push in as well from the backside of Tabson. Sneaky Beaky gets himself a kill. Gets traded out though. Now Rubino's been spotted in Squeak. He does get a kill, but his teammate, his partner in crime of PRB, has been shut down. And Rubino gets banged through the door. Rip 6-0.
Chat's gonna love that one.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's so many kills through that door recently. It's hilarious. I've been trying to replicate it, right? Like, I get to cast all these guys. I get to see them, where they stand, where they spam through. And I've actually, you know, not even putting that much practice in, but just from having watched, I've been picking up some kills through the door. But do end up getting killed much more in return. It can be frustrating. Although, I mean, that one didn't matter too much. It was a 1v4 there for that last guy. 6-0, though, for Penta. And another, you know... They're scrounging here, the terrorists. All the rifles with the flashbangs, a couple smokes this time, so a little bit similar to the that second round that we saw from LGB.
And whereas before the idea was to try and catch off Penta, now they know Penta have like a massive amount of weaponry to use. They've got 4 M4s, they've got loads of grenades, they've got defuse, they've got the whole 9 yards. So LGB, they're gonna have to pull off something special because this is quickly getting in towards 7-8-0 territory. And this is the halfway. Well, I mean, you're expecting them to get some rounds, and so am I. And it's just been one-way traffic. Penta cruising down the highway, just no issues whatsoever. Going for the late boost. I like this.
Making a bit of noise, though. That will be heard by PRB, who is in there. So I think this, well, what I call the Shroud boost, is going to be expected. And it's really not hard to check if you're expecting it. It's just that it's always in the back of your mind. Like, they're not up there, and then you get 8, and you're like, damn it, they were up there. And yeah, they don't quite check it, actually. Strux is able to get one. They're going to know now, but knowing almost doesn't matter unless Pauly and Zevez can do something incredible, because this is a 2v5 starting off, and their Crystal will find Pauly. Zevez to get Stavi, but Crystal gets them both, and that's just strong opting from that quad position. And without proper nades and Molotovs, you can't get a good opera off of quad. Like, it's game over on Cash.
Exactly. And without proper Molotovs or flashes and smokes, you can't get someone off that boost spot because you're walking into a bottleneck. There's like 5 or 6 positions that just spring off the top of my mind that you have to check. One of them's up to your right-hand side, so it's not easy to just flick up there and get a headshot and then come back down again. So without the right utility, that boost, even if you know it's there, it's very, very difficult to flush out. And we saw there from Penta just how strong it can be. So we are in 7-0, and another force buy from LGB. They've got the round loss bonus, you can understand that. But it's pretty terrible weaponry. Stavey gets headshotted from CEVO. Nice flick shot, but he can't seal the deal. And now LGB, once again, it's sink or swim for them. They've got to start picking up rounds at some point.
I'm gonna have to disagree with what Stavey just did there. I mean, you throw that smoke in, like, kind of aggressively into A main. Like, you can only expect someone's going to try to either hit that boost in the back of A main or peek around it. And peeking around it close against a P250 just seems like death. And he almost died and gave away a rifle early to the opposition. But since then, the A take was shut down completely. 3 members survived for Penta, and now 8 in a row.
Well, the thing is, LGB, they've been losing rounds and they haven't even been taking up many weapons away from Penta, so Penta still have massive amounts of economy. They're going to have to win the next 2 or 3 in a row just to break Penta into ecos. It's possible. Stranger things have happened. It is Counter-Strike after all, but the way their T side has been, I've got to say, I've not been impressed from LGB whatsoever. They've looked very predictable, uninspired. They're trying set pieces, but they're just not working out. And there's 2 ways of looking at that, right? You can say LGB haven't played very well, but I'd also go as far to say that Penta have been playing this exquisitely. They've had some great crossfires. Really good. Yeah.
They're like, wow, this is a bit easier without Kenny S just killing us first every round.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the thing. It's a different caliber of team, so you can't really take too much away from that 16-6 loss. Because clearly they're a comfortable team on Cash.
Although, was it even Kenny S? Wasn't it Maniac that did the best on this map?
Yeah, it's like Maniac and Apex, I think, were both standing up.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was Apex.
Yeah.
But yeah, even still. Slightly different caliber, and of course LGB with a slightly different roster than is normal, with some issues and also just some changes happening there at the LGB camp. Strux will get Poly. PRB, the last one up here, trying to work in through B main. Crystal in that generator alley with that off, and of course a player there, Strux, in vents. He's got to be a known, and that means PRB just, you know, it's so hard to confidently outpeak an Opera when you've got in the back of your mind that this guy's going to drop vents and kill me. And, you know, he can't quite get it done.
So the LGB woes continue. I'd like to see them try and occupy mid a tiny bit more. I'd like to see them try and utilize the extra 3 avenues of attack that opens up, highway, connector, and also vents. But at the same time, when you've just got players who are firing on all cylinders, it's very difficult to do that. It's much easier said than done. Whereas before, Tampton on Overpass was double fragging pretty much the entirety, the nearest person on his team. Now he's got the support. Now he's got 10 frags on Crystal, 10 on Trebly, 7 on Strux, 6 on Stavey. Everyone's pulling their weight. There is no weaknesses in Penta Sports CT side. So it's not like LGB can say, right, okay, screw A, it's way too powerful, let's just go B, because then they run into Tabs and they run into Trebly and they get wrecked anyway. So I don't know what to do if I'm an LGB right now. I'd be pretty lost for words.
Yeah, and their star player, right? I mean, I say star player, but, you know, just a strong player within the Norwegian scene, Sentries, who we just saw, you know, go ham on Overpass, is there at 0 kills, and Penta, everyone even. And not only that, but really, the scoreboard right now is just perfectly reflective of their roles. Like, you got Taps and Crystal and Trebly, who should be getting those, you know, the high frags, the flashy plays, and then Strux and Savvy, who are just there and supporting, you know, getting information, and everyone's doing a great job.
And maybe this is where we start to see the lack of cohesion and teamwork factoring in, because Cash can be a brutal map if you don't have strats, if you don't have the right smokes, flashes, and mollies. Yeah, it can get pretty hairy. And Sentries, as you said, zero. Cash. Me too. I'm not a huge fan of Cash. I love Overpass, love Mirage, and I'm a massive fan of Cash as a player. And you're seeing that Sentries are struggling with that same problem. He's got his first kill on the board, but there's Strux with a quick fire double. And Penta have took the 10-0 lead already. This has been lightning fast.
Yeah, it's rough. Although I want to expand on why I actually like watching Cash, because real teams know how to play it. But when I'm just pugging Cash, like, unless I've been absolutely, you know, killing it in my aim for the day, like, you just can't pug it against good players just because you need the smokes, the flashes, and some coordination.
I really struggle on T side. I hate playing C side of Cash. I can't do it. And I think that does come down to the strats that you're mentioning before, and maybe that's what Sentries is feeling right now. Especially as an entry fragger, right? Because you could run in all guns blazing, but if you don't have the right pop flashes, smokes, and molotovs, you're just going to get crossfired down. And that's what he's been finding. They're going to try an all-out desperation B push, I think, here. Look at Trebly, instantly backs away. And there's a grenade as well. So this should be pretty easy for Penta. Quick rotation in through mid from Strux, and Zevez is the only player that's opened his account here in the 11th round. And he's not long for this world. He's about to get silenced from Tabs, and there we go. It's all on Polly.
Polly's sneaking around the back, so he might be able to get a kill or something here, but no, they're going to check it. Stabby will move out, and Polly just sitting there just hoping someone will come out here, maybe even alone, but he'll have to wait a while, right? I mean, the bomb is down. It's in the B site. It's just missing one key ingredient. It hasn't been armed. So it's going to be Polly sneaking in, and actually one spot does go unlocked. He's able to get a kill. Tabson finds him. Well, Polly can maybe be happy about that one kill. That was pretty funny, but I mean, well, there's nothing else to be happy about. You're losing 11-0.
Exactly. It has to take a special kind of optimist to still be on like their TS or Mumble or whatever they're using and be like, come on, boys, we still got this. I mean, maybe if you go 11-4 and win the pistol round, there's a glimmer of hope, but LGB have done nothing on this T side that makes me think they'll take a single T round, honestly. And that might seem like a really harsh thing to say, but I've got to be honest, LGB have just been lacking everything that's required to make a successful T side work. PENTA have been playing this extraordinarily well, though. I've been very impressed with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Davey, that smoke is not going to stop him from this sight line. Sometimes will go unchecked, but this is a fake, right? They're just throwing these smokes and they're immediately rotating back to that boost to storm out into middle and go through the vents, but Strux is hearing that. The vent breaks. It's all going to be telegraphed, and Strux is about as fast as you could possibly flank through these vents unless they just walk right by you, and it falls apart. Strux is able to only get one, but Trebly and Tapson locking it down, and everyone is here. Almost a nice spray for Rubino that found two, and now they'll be a 3-on-1 with just Zevez back there in checker. Oh, they line up. He might get this. He finds Stabby. They brought Crystal down to 32. That nade, let's see if it gets a good bounce here. Ooh. It will. Hole in one for Zevez. And he can do it. He's low, 34 HP. Oh, and Trebly only taking about one bullet there, but he gets it. 2K for him.
Okay, so something I've picked up on, I've been watching these rounds pretty closely, that LGB have been rushing onto sites. They're getting onto the site, but nobody is flanking. Nobody's lurking. And you called it there, that Strux is consistently, I'm getting deja vu, like every round they go on B, Strux rushes up mid, he pops the vent, he shoots 2 or 3 people in the back. Nobody has figured that out yet from LGB. If they just have one person in garage or around mid, they can get 3 frags as the rotations come in, because PENTA are rotating so fast. But they haven't done it a single time. Now they're going to be looking for a mid push. Strux is here, he's going to push through the smoke. He could find himself in a hatful of frag scenario, but instead they kind of pass each other. And now they're going on to B. And again, no one is lurking. Everybody's focusing on main.
This could be it, though. That flash was not very effective. Actually got himself a little bit. And Rubino, quick flick there all the way up as well to heaven. Brings down Crystal. 3-on-1 here for Stabby. LGB poised to take that first round. Coming in through the vents has been a problem, but maybe they'll expect it the second time around, and they do. Sentries is watching it, but he'll be brought down. Nothing to bounce that nade off, so PRB will be fine. And in a great spot to intercept, and he will. First round for LGB, but that was 12 that went unanswered until now. And even if LGB wins out here, still, it's been a rough first half.
It really has. And PENTA looks stronger on their T side than he did CT side on Cash before, so there's not many saving graces, there's not many lifelines for LGB to move on to. And the most important thing is taking each round at a time. When you're at massive disadvantage, there's no point looking at the bigger picture. You just got to look at the smaller ones. Let's just build it up block by block. It may take us a long time to make this comeback a reality, but we have seen comebacks of this magnitude before. This isn't unheard of. And they are on T side. They've got a strong CD side. They've got every chance of pulling this off. There we go. That's more like it. Stavey's been dropped, pushing mid again, main again, I should say. It's not the first time he's done that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that grenade does damage to Rubino. Takes him down.
Oh,
pushes through with the flash. Oh, he doesn't get the double. Probably should have got that one. And that's going to keep the CTs at a player disadvantage. A 2-on-2 now. And Tapson's moving in.
If he hit that second shot onto the player coming up highway, he'll bring it back to a 2-on-2 regardless. And Pauly is low down at 18, so that HP advantage is there. Crystal will trade that op out for the rifle. Definitely going to be better in this situation where they're going to find themselves most likely retaking B. Tapson, though, can stop that bomb from crossing, but gives up the angle without knowing. And now Zevez walking in forward. Beautiful from him to find that kill. was maybe a bit risky in an even strength situation, but it paid off, that's for sure.
Yeah, paid off for them. Bomb's been planted. Crystal flashing through. Will not get the kill. Gets it on the second time. Asking why is Evers re-peeking that? Why on earth is he doing that? He knows that Polly's super low. One bullet and Polly's dead. There's still a flash for Crystal. Is he going to use this one or just force it in? Looks like he's going to force it in. Pulls out the flashbang. He's going for the defuse and Polly's there. Played that very nice. And does give his team the second round. Still, maybe a drop in the ocean.
Yeah. Although momentum, I mean, very, very important in a game like CS. So if they can get these, 4 rounds, or rather 3 rounds, I can math, that are available to them in this first half, and then also get the pistol, I mean, that's 6 in a row right there. And if that momentum can carry through over to a strong CT side, maybe, just maybe, there's some hope. You'd like to, of course, believe there is, if they can bring it back, have another OT, but I don't know, Penta, still, their economy was so good. Disrupted a little bit coming into this last round after 2 losses, but even still, they've got guns.
They do have the guns, but they've also lost the first player. Tabson comes in, picks up his 17th frag of the half. Rubino up on boost. Could make a bit of a mess of this CT side, and that's exactly what happens. Double kill for him. Onto Strux and Tabson, who both walk in a single file, conga lining their way to death, and now the repeat once again. Crystal's tagging up. Rubino picks him off. It's just repeat city, and it's gone tit for tat, blow for blow. Polly's been found out from Troubly, and he gets dropped as well, and there's Stavey back, but he doesn't get the kill.
Kill he needs.
It's another 2-on-2 Helium. How many times have we seen this already? And Sentries does get that kill on towards Crystal.
Three kill hype. Sentries. Getting him when he needs to, though, right? Finding and 2 on this round. Wow, he was down to 1 kill for so long. It's gotta feel good to start off. Well, I guess finish strong as he brings this round. Unless Troubly can clutch it, probably to the grasps of LGB, and their Sentry is again. He's got the information that Troubly's crossed. Although PRB still got to deal with what side of quad he's going to come around. Troubly, gets Sentries, but PRB is there. And
wow.
All right, LGB. I mean, better late than never. They get those 3 rounds. Sentries was reminded of the taste of blood. And we'll see what goes down here in the second half.
Even that last attempt, though, I think Sentries on overpass would have easily got that frag, but he let that one slip. However, his teammate came to the rescue. 12-3, though. I mean, Penta they're in heaven right now. This is a fantastic half scoreline for them to be moving on T side, which they're very comfortable on. LGB, just take a little bit, dust yourselves down, come back with a fresh slate, and remember, it's every round counts. You just got to take each round at a time. They can win the pistol, as you said. You're looking at a 12-6 kind of scoreline. If you then break the assault rifles, maybe even 12-8, it's doable. It's not impossible, but the journey has to start right here, right now for them on the second pistol round.
Yeah, because of course, I mean, at 12 rounds, you get the pistol, you have like 95% chance, probably even higher than that you're just going to win, especially if you get all 3. That puts you at 15 at match point. That's why 12 is such a critical number when you look at half scores, because it puts you right at the match point. It's insane.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. So you can see here that LGB are going hard onto A. 4 players stacking there. Just Zevez on his own on B. And Penta, I mean, they're not really doing anything right now. They're just waiting for potentially CTs to push them, which is happening. Polly's coming through main. He has decided to back on away, which is the correct decision, and now Penta starts to peek in mid. There comes Polly on the main, gets the first kill. That's huge. The bomb's not been dropped. It will just be backing on out from Strux. He's down to 37, so this is a great start for the Norwegians, but they're going to have to keep going forward here because the bomb's going on to B, and nobody's rotated to help Zevez. He's all by his lonesome. Can he get any last-minute heroics? No, he can't. Tabson with the headshot. Surprise, surprise. And that bomb will be planted.
Yeah, and Penta looking to take... If they get this in the series, this will be the 3rd pistol round they've won. If they can. That nade is going to be pretty... Actually, as they back away from it, not too bad going up in towards heaven. Flashing, though, trying to hold on. They're starting to get low. PRB and Polly there from heaven. Going to open up one, and now they start to waterfall on out. Crystal gets 2, gets a 3rd, and onto the bomb. Crystal does it with the 4K to close it out. Absolutely insane. And they will win 3 out of the 4 pistols in this series.
And that is probably LGB circling the drain. Not just because they're 13-3 behind, but man, that must destroy your confidence. That's the round that should be won. You know, especially when those picks start coming in. Crystal's in a 1v2, it's like, okay, boys, we've got this. Let's move on. We're 12-4 behind now. We've got ourselves some assault rifles. We're looking good. Instead, it's 13-3. That's huge.
And we will see. I mean, of course, at this point, you're going to try to save up. But if you can't get this forceful round as LGB, your money is going to be in such a tight spot. It's going to be so hard. You're definitely going to be in a position where you're going to be force buying up to try to play for the tie. And a nice mixture here. Crystal just staying on the P250 because he is that opper. Although Polly will move through and find Troubly. And oh my gosh, my memory's weak. Did he? I think there were only two. No, there were 2 submachine guns and 2 rifles, so that's only going to drop an SMG. So a nice mixture of guns is what I was going to say for Penta.
Yeah, they have lost the first player, maybe soon to be 2. Yes, there's sentries from Toxic Barrels, making short work of Crystal. Here comes the cavalry though, Tabson taking point, gets the first one traded out by PRB. He gets a nice shot and a second one as well. Rubino from behind. And maybe there is still life left in LGB eSports. That's a big round for them to pick up. They get a bunch of weapons, and now Penta are on eco. That was huge.
Yeah, that was, I mean, a high risk, high reward play, right, from LGB, and it does pay off. As their backs are up against the wall, that will disrupt that terrorist economy and put them on a save here. And, I mean, with one loss, you're only going to have these players going to, what, $2,800 in this next round, unless they get that bomb down as well.
Yeah, so that could effectively be 2 rounds they just won there. Unless something goes horribly awry. Polly comes in with that MAC-10. There we go, spraying down. Sees a third potential victim. Does finally get it. Sees a fourth as well. Structs is planting, and they do stop that plant, which is pretty huge, actually. That could have potentially got them the funds to buy up AKs or Galils. Yeah, it probably would have, to be honest. And instead, they could be on a force buy. But I like this a lot from Penta. They're like, we could force buy, but we're so far ahead, why bother? Just save up. We can throw away another round. It's no big deal.
Oh, I was 500 off. I meant to say 1900, so my math was not there. So they were at 3300 instead of the 2800 coming into this round. But that's still not enough to buy unless you want Galil armor and nothing. And that's, I mean, as we've already talked about the importance of those smokes, flashes, and set plays on a map like Cache, especially on the T side, you don't want to just be on Galils and relying on your aim. So once again, they'll try for a quick B play. They've got it to a 4-on-3, so doing some damage, but Zevis found 2 kills. Pauly to get another one there. Stabby, though. Good positioning for him. Rubino won't let him live much longer. And the bomb goes down, so another big amount of money coming into this round, and that'll be a very solid round 20 coming up for Penta.
Yeah, that was really well played, actually. It was an eco. They got the bomb plant. They got 2 kills. Nicely done. And now they can pick pretty much whatever they want. They can get an AWP if they want to. They can go for full AKs. The world is their oyster. What are they going to pick? I only see Crystal with an AWP. AKs across the board elsewhere. There we go. Yeah, an AWP. So it'll be very interesting. I'm going to take it on board with Crystal and see where he pushes. He doesn't have a great spawn for particularly anywhere. My money would be maybe on mid. Maybe a boost up and try and peek in towards mid and try and get a pick onto Polly. Let's see.
And also, well, Polly's actually going towards B, so even if he were to boost over, he wouldn't be finding Polly. And well, Polly's got a opportunity to get Troubly if Troubly wants to keep peeking. It will be just a default setup here for Penta. Troubly watching the B push, Tapson in middle, and Strux watching the counter boost. He's in a really good position to do some damage. Rubino's, I mean, we can see through X-Ray, he's wanting to boost up. That nade is going to hurt, and this nade might actually be the death, but nades in this game are weird. And he will live with 28 HP.
That's costly for him, though. And he was looking to try and get a pick or maybe play peekaboo whack-a-mole. Instead, he has to back away with 28 HP, which is massive. And now you can see that Penta with 50 seconds, they're still just biding their time, waiting like a coiled viper, ready to strike any potential weakness. It's important that LGB just keep themselves hidden. There's no reason for them to peek now. They know mid's gone. Just play deep defense. Wait for the T's to come to you, and peeking there cost PRB his life. And it could very well cost Polly, and it has. And that's what I'm talking about. There's no need for that. And now they're going to lose B site as well. Oh.
Yeah, and not to mention on the retake, Rubino, you know, those nades going over the boost, that, you know, it's very common, but of course it's not really a reason to just not try to go for the boost at all. Means Rubino's going to be really low trying to come in and do this. And, well, they streaked things nicely together 3 rounds in a row after the upset, but they can't do this, and they want to save. They want to have a decent round 21. Their money's even still not terrible either. So they'll have a full-on round 21, but it's still going to be tough. Penta showing that they can get it done on rifle rounds, and they're only going to need, at this point, 2 more.
Yeah, they broke that curse, because up until then, the only round they got was the pistol. That's going to give them confidence. It's going to put LGB back on the back foot. But again, peaking at the wrong place at the wrong time. Lost in the round. And now with the AWP, Crystal, again, has a pretty good spawn this time, so can pretty much pick and choose wherever he wants to go. I'm not too sure. Last time he went main to try and get a quick push from anyone that fancied their chances. This time I think he's just going to be chilling out on Van, just waiting for somebody to potentially try and boost up. There we go, yeah. He's gone for it, misses the shot, but very close. Polly's down to 18.
Yeah, so Polly going to be low once again. Last round it was Rubino who started things off pretty low and still alive. Well, obviously, this time it's Polly. Tapson, though, you need it the most. Coming up with those entries. He'd like to close this out. That's a 20 bomb for him now. He'll join Crystal with 20 kills this round, and everything really still neck and neck for Penta. They've played well. Stavey may be a little off this game. We've seen him drop a couple shots that could have, I mean, already have led to the victory probably here for Penta, but even still, playing great.
Even when he's playing slightly off, he'd still be like halfway up LGB scoreboard as well. So, again, it just goes to show the difference in the teams. Polly with a nice pick off there with the AWP. Going in for seconds. Tabson down to 12. He's got the AWP. We'll be making that work. But again, they've given up mid. And this allows Penta to just force through. It looks like they may think about going highway. And it's a straight up 2-for-2 split for the CTs. 2B, 2A. Smoke out flash. And Strux potentially going through connector.
Yeah, Strux might try to push into C connector in the smoke. Oh, but Troubly actually is going to show their hand a little before they get to actually do it. Oh, on PRB dropping in a nade. Takes down Tabson, who was low as well. Strux, though, who was lurking around middle, gets a kill. Stabby finds Rubino. And that'll put Strux now coming over through that Z connector in a 1-on-2, but he can't get in through PRB. And PRB locking down that B site with a 4K. Still, though, 14-7. Penta with a lot of wiggle room and still with good money here to buy up once more.
PRB showing up when it's counted, when it's needed. 14-7. Penta do have themselves another buy-up round in effect, and they're constantly getting mid but not doing much with it. I feel like if they push mid a bit earlier, they may reap the benefits a tiny bit more. That being said, though, double stacking from mid Polly is there. And it looks like it's going to be a B push, or at least the early signs were there. They push through aggressively, drop the bomb, and then just hold position. So Penta trying to play in mind games with the CTs. Yes, you can really feel how tense LGB are by their positions here. Well, why not?
Yeah.
It's such a close game. One mistake could cost them this match.
PRB's actually moved off to middle. It's Rubino and Zevez, and then Polly and Sentries over at the A site. So they are playing for that 2-1-2 at the time being. Oh, Strux, though, has already got himself into the vents, and that's something that can happen when you only put one player middle. But Zevez with a great flash, he'll work his way through that smoke and gets aggressive at B and finds a kill early onto Troubly. But Tapson brings it right back. Polly with a shot, though, from Quad to bring down Crystal. Now Rubino back to him in the B site. He's going to find 2, pulls out the sidearm. Tapson will bring him down, but Sentries is there with the op headshot. And LGB to get another. They've won, what is it now, 5 of the last 6 rounds and 5 of the 7 that we've had in the second half.
And a lot of them have been buy-up rounds as well from Penta. So they have been winning out the rifle rounds. They've been winning out the rounds that really count. Now Penta on eco again. LGB could be staring a 14-10 sort of scoreline here. And then things start to get interesting. Because Penta are going to start to feel it. Then the next assault rifle round could put LGB sort of 14-11, 14-12 territory. So it's the important thing to take into account. Even though 14-8 looks very one-sided, it doesn't paint the full picture of this cash map. LGB starting to come into their own. Double up setup, Poly, Sentries. Here comes the rush in from Penta. Looks like they've caught them off guard. Sentries gets the opening pick with York. And the second one is well used from him. Absolutely lovely play from him. And now the cavalry has well and truly shown up. Sentry with a third. And Poly gets the molly kill. And Sentries was like 1 for 9, now 8 for 17, which isn't a great scoreline, but he's definitely started to step it up.
Yeah, that is definitely better. You're not super close, but you're getting closer, almost maintaining kill per round in the second half. That's what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. As that should have been 8 rounds now, I think. And he's, what, put on 5 kills, so it's not too bad for himself. Way better than maintaining 0 kills for, what, like 10 or 11 rounds in a row. I mean, anything's better than that. So it's nice to see him turning it around. And, I mean, LGB as an entire team, the defense is looking pretty strong here. They've got 2 streaks of 3 in a row. Can they make that 4 right now, moving into round 24? Once again, it will be full strength for both teams. Penta, though, no ops at this point, but still more or less those full nades. And Struck's taking some early damage with the bomb as well. And those were just nades coming over the boost in return.
Ooh, PRB nearly threw away his opportunity, but does get Tabson, who's one of the playmakers. 22 for 16, top fragger on the server once again. And LGB are looking stronger and stronger as this game goes on. And no, a lot of credit as well to Sentries, who was on 5 for 17 before that triple. Picking up an AWP shows a lot of confidence on his own ability. He's like, look guys, I've had a poor start, sure. Just give me the AWP, I'll do the rest. And he really did play phenomenally well there. Troubly, though, gets the kill on Zeves as I'm speaking, brings it back to an even equation, 4 on 4, 45 seconds.
Close. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't catch it, no.
Yeah, it was over A main, spamming out through the smoke into quad, so close to the face of Sentries. But obviously, he's still alive there, and in the back of the site, Rubino helping him out. Pauly gets that shot, close range. Over there at middle. He'll turn it back to watch the squeaky, but the bomb's coming up right behind him, and I don't think he hears it quite in time, but only takes a millisecond for Pauly to react as he brings down Strux. 4 members survive there, and finally that'll bust up Penta enough that they're going to be saving, and suddenly that wiggle room is gone.
And this is looking towards that 14-12 that I was talking about before, and then it gets really close. And Pauly, you know, again, I kind of ragged on him a tiny bit on Overpass for not performing. He's really done well this time around. 22 for 18, top fragging for his team. Has been pulling off crazy AWP shots. Has been that man they can depend on. So it's super important for the Norwegians that Pauly shows up. If he doesn't, they're definitely weakened. He's been doing well for his team, but he needs to keep this going forward. This should be 14-11, barring any huge plays from Penta or any huge throws from LGB. They're stacking 3 towards B. Here comes the push in through mid. PRB probably should have done better, and he does get dropped from Crystal. Molotov through vents will isolate Crystal from the rest of his team, but it's actually the rest of his team that's dropping. Rubino and Zeves. Very quick rotates, get the frags. And now Crystal and Stavia, all that remains.
Yeah, Crystal was able to get himself a rifle here, so maybe he can bring down Zeves, who is pretty low after already dealing a bit of damage. But as I say, Zeves peeks out and finds Crystal. Rubino coming in through the vents, and once again, surviving with 4 members. So not only, I mean, they're on the comeback, they're finally putting rounds together, but LGB are doing so convincingly that you've got so many players with so much money. That's the really important thing here. Like, let's take a look. Starting in, yeah, so round 22, they lose 2 people. One person. That's it. So many people living for the CT side, and that's why 3, I think maybe even 4 people had 10K before they bought on this round.
And this is why I also said take each round at a time. It's daunting to look at a scoreline of like 12-3, and it was 13-3 at one point as well. If you look at it that way, it's like, okay, this game's pretty much over. But they've done exactly what they need to. They've built the momentum, as you said. They've built the economy. They've got a 1-for-1 trade early on the 26th round. And this half already has gone 8-2 in their favor. So if you just completely ignore that first half, they are winning very convincingly on CT side. Penta, again, they're kind of looking uninspired. We saw them run into this issue against Titan when their strats don't work. I don't think they adapt very well, and they just go back to their default idea of, well, we can out-aim them, right? But LGB are no scrubs. These guys can aim as well. And you're seeing Sentries pushing at the AWP and get a 1-for-1 trade.
Zeves, though, still at the missile. It's going to go unchecked, but his aim is a bit off, or the spray control after the fact was. And now out of bullets, he'll have to pull out the 5.7. Also has 20 bullets. And there he goes. He'll find the 2 headshots with that. Almost getting a 3rd here and also still alive. That's a CT Molotov to stop Trebly from pushing in. He's still back in checker and a 1-on-2. This is doable. I mean, if Rubino, though, just watches that cross, CEVO does not even have to peek at all. The Rubino will let him know if he's in trouble. So good communication. Should be easy 2-on-1 for LGB. As the bomb is here behind CEVO. That was maybe the one problem, is if Trebly peeks Rubino, but CEVO was pretty quick. Also just to peek out and find the frag.
That was a bit sketchy for a second there as Rubino got dropped. Probably felt he should have done better, but LGB get the round just about by the skin of their teeth. And again, Penta forcing it up. They have a lot of weapons to play with, though. They're not wanting for anything. Grenades across the board, AK-47s. Double up setup has been the way that LGB have been approaching this half for the last few rounds. No reason to change it up. It's been very effective for them, very efficient killing method. And Penta just going for this split again. But the thing is that the idea of this split is to try and get information, it's to try and get picks. LGB are not giving anything away. So Penta are wasting, say, 40-45 seconds without really anything in return. And then they try and rush on a side and the crossfires are just destroying them. That's been the rinse and repeat tactic so far.
Yeah, and already now, 40 seconds off the clock. Another Molotov there, PRB from the vents. Stop people from the boost, and that actually is what they were thinking about, right? I mean, Stabby's even up there, but Pauly gonna find Crystal. Stabby able to get off the boost. So, mid control actually to the terrorists, and you got a 3-2, 3 in A, 2 in B right now. PRB actually in checker pushing out, will find Trebly, so 5-on-3 for LGB, and time is going away. I mean, we saw Penta, earlier did show the ability to come back in these situations, even a man down, but it's been tough since they've got to that T-side on cash.
Whereas Penta typically like to control mid a lot and then make the most of that. LGB, to their credit, have just been holding fast in mid. They have not been giving anything away. When they lose a player, they revert back to super defensive mode, where they'll have 2 players stacking on A, 2 on B, and then just saying, okay, terrorists, come at us, bros. Like, you've got to plant this bomb, you've got to win this round. We're not going to gift wrap it to you. And I've really liked this LGB defense. Both sides, actually. You know, Penta had a great defense as well. Both the saved weapons will get dropped. And LGB pick up their 13th round. And look at this economy as well from Penta, because a couple of those kills were after the timer went out. 1,200 instructs. That's all the money he's got to play with.
Yeah, and that puts them in a rough spot. It looks like they will just buy a little bit here to even out the money. I mean, they've definitely, I think they've hit 5 in a row. Well, they're way more than 5 in a row. It's, what is that, 7 in a row that they've now given up. So they've got the max bonus coming in. Everyone will have more or less 5K. I think who was a little bit more poor there, Strux. So they'll have a full-on round, but this is where LGB can tie it up. Will we see another overtime? Can Penta get on the board here late and close it out? Or what seems almost more likely at this point, LGB just going to continue to dominate with your defense. But here with just the pistols, moving a little bit quicker than has been expected. Sentries with the 2-for-1, though, and the kill before it as well. He finds 3 kills, 2 bullets.
What?
But look at Thompson with this Tech 9, just when you need him to do it. He explodes, and now, even with the 2-for-1, Tapson says, I can do it a bit better, and I only need a Tech 9. And now it's CEVO trying to come in here. He's been spotted by Crystal. Tapson has picked up the op, and will find himself the 4K.
Man, that 3-man was disgusting. Did you see it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was pretty quick. I tried.
Oh, man. He just literally flicked to 3 players and racked all 3 with a Tech 9. That was the stuff of nightmares, if you're from LGB's perspective. That was ridiculous. And we've gone from a position where LGB looked like they were going to cruise into a 16-14 win to suddenly now having to save 2 rounds just to keep themselves in this map. That's huge. And that could definitely work against your confidence. Losing a round like that from a sick individual play can put you on tilt. So LGB have to now hold firm and say, look, wipe that away from our memory. We've got to win the next 2 rounds. Let's approach it like we did when we were 12-3, 13-3 behind. And Penta now starting to push into B. And they get the opening pick onto PRB as well.
Oh, and Strux finds it from on top of the boxes. So they put up a wall of smoke there in middle to get that middle control. But as the players that were in B try to get into B, they get mowed down. They needed to wait for at least Crystal here to come around the other side. He's up in CT territory, but it doesn't even matter. They've got the kills. Tapson finds the last one there, and I mean, if Tapson didn't do enough for this team today, he finally gets him that round 28, and then they're able to string it together there with some mid control and a B take. And Penta will get the trade out here. So getting a map off of Titan means 1 point for them in the Pro League standings, and a map there also coming here against LGB is another point. And those points are very precious, and Penta, I think, can feel pretty happy about the day. And even LGB, honestly, showing up with this roster kind of last minute, well, actually extremely last minute, still showed that, you know, they have some good players on the team.
Yeah, having a replacement, as you say, come in with such little notice and performing the way they did, winning the first map in overtime 19-17, and then pulling nearly an absolutely sick comeback on Cash, they can hold their heads high. You know, they did a good performance here, so did Penta. So it was a pretty interesting best of two, honestly. It was such a seesaw of CSGO. It was back and forward, up and down between both the teams, but I think a draw overall is quite a fair result. I couldn't really pick too much between the two teams. I mean, at the end of the day, the first map went into overtime. It doesn't get any closer than that.
Yeah, the overpass was pretty fun to watch. LGB were probably glad they'd played that many rounds, got used to playing with everybody, and then, you know, they get to Cash and immediately they hit a wall of losing 12 rounds, but are able to almost bring it back. I honestly was thinking we were about to hit another OT, but we didn't. But we went the full 30 rounds at least in both series there. So congrats to both teams, and I look forward to, of course, watching the new Penta roster, as they've been stable with that 5 for a little while now, but definitely seeing what happens with LGB and how that's going to develop, and when they finally lock down 5, who it's going to be, and then what they can do as a squad. But that's going to do it, guys, today for Europe. Quickly before we go, let me remind you what's coming up in North America in just about 1 hour and 5 minutes. I got to remember how to read spreadsheets. There we go. Today's June 1st. Happy June, everybody. Maybe even June 2nd, depending on where you're watching. But Luminosity versus Affinity is coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 hour and 4 minutes. Nihilum versus VVV Gaming. And if people haven't been paying attention to Affinity, they were kind of they were Phoenix Fire, then Paradox, and then Sponsorless. And since, you know, just going back to their old school name and having no sponsor as Affinity, they have been tearing it up. So watch for them against Luminosity, and then Nihilum VVV should be pretty good, but Nihilum heavily favored. Either way, come back. Make sure to follow the channel. Plenty of CSGO action Sunday through Thursday for the CEVO MLG Pro League. Myself, I'm Helium. You can hit me up on Twitter at HeliumBrella. Let me know what you think. And, of course, Meta's here at Meta's TV. Any final words before we roll out?
Not really. Just thank you very much for having me again. Really enjoyed my stay here, and we're pretty blessed to have 2 awesome best of 2s. So really enjoyed myself.
All right, me too. Hopefully the viewers did as well. Peace out, guys. We'll catch you next time.